There is a reason the most dangerous minds rarely speak first. The world trains people to be loud, to constantly explain themselves, to react emotionally, to seek attention from strangers. Weak men cannot tolerate silence, because silence forces them to confront themselves. But intelligent men understand something deeper. Silence is power. Not because silence is empty, but because silence reveals. The man who speaks too much reveals his insecurity, his emotions, his intentions, his weaknesses. But the silent man, he becomes unreadable. And what people cannot read, they fear. Niccolò Machiavelli once understood a brutal truth about human nature. People do not respect vulnerability. They respect control. The man who controls his tongue controls perception, and perception is power. Look carefully at history. The most intelligent figures were rarely the loudest in the room. They observed, they calculated, they listened. While others fought desperately to be noticed, they studied human nature in silence. Carl Jung believed that every human being carries a shadow, a hidden self, a darker self. Most people spend their lives running from it. Intelligent men do not. They sit alone with their thoughts. They analyze themselves. They understand their darkness, and that changes them. Because once a man understands human nature, he stops speaking carelessly. He realizes most conversations are performances. Most people are not listening. They are waiting for their turn to speak, waiting to impress, waiting to dominate. But silence disrupts this. Silence creates tension, and tension creates psychological power. Notice what happens when someone refuses to explain themselves. People become uncomfortable. They begin projecting assumptions. They search for meaning. They attempt to regain control. Why? Because silence removes predictability, and the human mind fears uncertainty more than almost anything. This is why calm men intimidate emotional people. The silent man appears disciplined, dangerous, controlled, even if he says nothing at all, because emotional control is one of the rarest forms of power in modern society. Most people are slaves to reaction. One insult destroys their peace. One opinion changes their mood. One rejection weakens their confidence. But intelligent men understand something most people never learn. Reaction is surrender. The moment someone controls your emotions, they control you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." But weak people cannot live by this principle. They must react. They must defend themselves. They must explain. Intelligent men understand that explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you is a form of self-destruction. Silence protects energy, and energy is life itself. Every argument drains it. Every unnecessary conversation drains it. Every attempt to prove yourself drains it. Eventually, intelligent men realize something painful. Most people do not deserve access to their thoughts, because the average person does not value wisdom. They value entertainment, validation, noise. This is why shallow people fear deep thinkers. Depth requires solitude, and solitude terrifies the modern mind. Most people cannot sit alone for 10 minutes without distraction. But intelligent men, they become stronger in isolation. Because isolation sharpens observation. When a man spends enough time alone, he begins seeing patterns others miss. He notices manipulation faster. He notices insecurity faster. He notices deception faster. Silence trains perception. And perception is a weapon. Machiavelli warned rulers never to reveal too much. Why? Because mystery creates authority. The less people know about you, the more power you maintain. This is why powerful individuals move differently. They do not announce every plan. They do not reveal every emotion. They do not seek constant validation. They move quietly, and then suddenly, they win. The truth is, silence is not weakness. Silence is restraint, and restraint is terrifying in a world addicted to impulse. Anyone can shout, anyone can react emotionally, anyone can lose control. But remaining calm under pressure, that is rare. That is mastery. The intelligent man understands that words are expensive. Once spoken, they cannot return. This is why wise men choose words carefully, because careless speech exposes careless thinking, and careless thinking destroys power. Carl Jung believed that people unconsciously reveal themselves constantly, through speech, through emotion, through reaction. The intelligent man listens carefully, because people always reveal who they are eventually, especially when they speak too much. The arrogant reveal insecurity, the manipulative reveal desperation, the weak reveal emotional dependency, and all of it becomes visible to the silent observer.
This is why silence is often misunderstood. People assume quiet men are timid until they discover the quiet man was observing everything all along. Every weakness, every lie, and every hidden intention. Silence creates awareness, and awareness creates advantage. That is why intelligent men prefer silence, because silence allows them to see reality clearly, while everyone else is distracted by noise. And once a man begins seeing reality clearly, he can never return to ignorance again. This is the curse of intelligence. The more aware you become, the more exhausting people become, because you begin noticing things others miss. The fake smiles, the hidden jealousy, the passive aggression disguised as kindness. Most people never notice these things. They move blindly through life, trusting appearances. But intelligent men understand that human beings are masters of disguise, and silence exposes masks. When you remain quiet, people reveal themselves trying to fill the emptiness. Some overshare, some brag, some become defensive, some become hostile. And in those moments, their true character appears. This is why intelligent men often feel detached from crowds, not because they hate people, but because they understand people too well. Friedrich Nietzscheu once said, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster." Intelligent men understand this danger, because observing darkness long enough changes you. You become less naive, less trusting, less emotionally reckless. You stop believing words and start believing patterns, because patterns never lie. Anyone can promise loyalty. Anyone can pretend to care. Anyone can perform morality in public, but behavior repeated over time reveals the truth. And silence gives you the ability to study behavior without interference. Most people destroy this advantage immediately. They speak too soon, trust too quickly, reveal too much. Then they wonder why betrayal keeps finding them. But intelligent men learn patience, and patience is another form of power. The quiet man understands that time exposes everyone eventually. Fake confidence collapses, false kindness fades, manipulation becomes visible, time reveals character, which is why intelligent men rarely rush relationships, friendships, business, love. They observe first. Because once you understand psychology, you realize emotional impulsiveness destroys judgment. The modern world encourages impulsiveness, instant reactions, instant opinions, instant gratification. But intelligence moves slowly, deliberately, like a chess player studying the entire board before touching a single piece. And this is another reason intelligent men prefer silence. Silence slows the world down. It creates space to think. Most people never truly think. They react. Their emotions decide everything. Their impulses control everything. Their environment programs everything. But silence interrupts programming. It forces reflection, and reflection creates self-awareness. This is why solitude changes intelligent men so deeply, because in solitude, there are no distractions left, no noise, no performance, no audience, only truth, and truth is uncomfortable. Most people avoid silence because silence amplifies inner chaos, the regrets, the insecurity, the fear, the emptiness. That is why society is addicted to distraction, music every second, phones every minute, noise at all times. Because modern people fear confronting themselves. But intelligent men eventually stop running, they sit with discomfort, and slowly, they become mentally stronger than those who avoid it. This is why calm men appear intimidating, not because they are trying to dominate anyone, but because emotional stability is rare. A man who cannot be easily provoked, cannot be easily controlled. And society depends on emotional control. Advertisements manipulate emotion. Politics manipulates emotion. Social media manipulates emotion. Everything competes for your reaction. But silence protects the mind. It creates distance from manipulation. The intelligent man learns to observe before responding, and sometimes, not responding at all becomes the strongest response possible. Because silence frustrates manipulators. Manipulative people rely on emotional reactions. They want anger, they want defensiveness, they want explanation. But silence denies them access. And nothing terrifies controlling people more than losing control over your emotions. This is why emotionally disciplined men are often misunderstood. People mistake restraint for weakness until pressure arrives. Then suddenly, the calm man becomes the strongest person in the room because pressure reveals character. Weak people panic, emotional people collapse. Arrogant people lose composure, but disciplined men remain centered. And that calmness feels almost unnatural in modern society, especially today. We live in a world where everyone is screaming for attention, posting every thought, sharing every emotion, broadcasting every moment of their lives. But intelligent men understand a dangerous truth. Attention is not always power. Sometimes, attention makes you vulnerable. The more people know about you, the easier you become to manipulate. This is why wise men guard their privacy carefully, not out of fear, but out of understanding. They know that mystery creates protection. The less people know, the less they can use against you. And history proves this repeatedly. The most effective strategists were rarely emotional. They were patient observers, silent thinkers, men who mastered themselves before attempting to master anything else. Because self-control is the foundation of all power. Without self-control, intelligence becomes self-destruction. A brilliant mind without discipline becomes chaos. This is why silence matters so deeply. Silence strengthens discipline. It teaches restraint, patience, observation. It teaches you to think before speaking, and thinking before speaking separates intelligent men from impulsive men. One speaks to impress, the other speaks with purpose, and purpose changes everything. Every word gains weight. When a quiet man finally speaks, people listen, because silence creates presence. A man who speaks constantly becomes background noise, but a man who speaks carefully creates impact. This is why intelligent men rarely argue endlessly. They understand something ego-driven people never learn. Winning every argument is meaningless. Protecting your peace is priceless. Not every misunderstanding deserves correction. Not every insult deserves response. Not every battle deserves participation. Some conflicts exist only to drain energy, and intelligent men learn to walk away from emotional traps, because maturity is realizing that silence can end battles, that words would only prolong. There is enormous strength in remaining composed while others lose control. Because composure signals inner authority, and inner authority cannot be faked for long. Eventually, life exposes everyone. The loud become empty, the arrogant become fragile, the performative become exhausted. But disciplined men endure, quietly, patiently, powerfully. And perhaps that is the deepest reason intelligent men prefer silence. Silence allows them to preserve themselves in a world constantly trying to consume them.